Well, that was fun. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. Yeah. When this image dropped, whew, man, it kind of just like... A lot of people were upset from the night before, of course, with the full scene of Superman returning, and everything. Maybe I should do a video about that and break it down. Probably not. I mean, we already been talking about it on Twitter and everything, but yep. Then this little gem showed up and started making the rounds. Basically, of course, yeah, you guys have already seen it. Yeah, I mean, I posted it. I was one of the first because it got sent to me, and I was like, okay, yeah. That's something. And makes you wonder, did they just mocap somebody random? Probably. I wouldn't think that they already hired somebody to actually full on play them. If it's just a glimpse, I mean, look at the first Thanos. It was just somebody random too, because they didn't have any words or nothing like that. And of course now it's going to be Josh Brolin. But yeah, we got Darkseid sitting on his throne, which he's holding a High Father staff, possibly. I'd like to think so. And then, of course, we have the Mother Box going crazy. And then we have something happens on Earth that just ignites. And it's almost like we see like an orbit, like a rotation or whatnot. Or do we see this image from the first trailer? Possibly. Seems about right. Yes. This scene definitely exists, guys. That's right. It was in the first trailer. Oh, my God. Wow. It doesn't... it's a storyboard, so obviously things are going to be different, and it's just like, what in the hell? My God. So yeah, it does look like this piece of footage of it, igniting, and the blue, pulse or charge that just comes out of it. Looks like we do see that in the first Justice League trailer. And then, of course, we have the bottom two. Now, we already seen the Omega sign in the ground from Batman's nightmare scene. And then, of course, I guess the shot was going to be, you see the Hall of Justice sign in the rubble, and then it's just going to push through, and then you see the Omega sign, which would have been such a beautiful shot. It was a beautiful shot when we saw this in Batman vs. Superman, but what people were going, oh my God, check this out. Check this out. Over in the background, yes, that is in fact Wayne Manor in the distance. So yes, it looks like the whole Wayne Manor being the Hall of Justice was something that was planned by Snyder and Terrio. I think they reshot it just because it just seems like Ben is fucking phoning it in. Big table right there. He was very much acting like Miles Teller at the end of Fantastic Four when he was phoning it in on the reshoots. I don't know. Who knows what's the case with that. But yeah, you see it right back there in the distance. That it is definitely Wayne Manor. So we already saw that it was like the rubble of a Hall of Justice. This is what sucks. And, I know some people that were, in my mentions and stuff like that today when all this was coming down. The majority was just everybody going, oh my God, that sucks. But, this was going to this was going to be the conclusion. Maybe not the full-on conclusion, who knows. But this was going to complete the nightmare scene. See, a lot of people, too, were just going well, that's just dumb. Because they were comparing it to the Marvel franchise, how they teased Thanos in Avengers, and then it took forever. It took about, 8 years for them to finally face off with Thanos, which, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It was a nice little build-up, I think, but that wasn't going to happen, okay? When they were going to finish Justice League 1, guess what? They're going to go right into Justice League 2. There's most likely going to be a 2-year gap, and it was going to lead to all this, and it was going to lead to the anti-life equation. Empire Online, when they had Snyder on podcast and they're asking him all kinds of questions, he was mentioning stuff. He was mentioning the nightmare scene, and he mentioning that in Justice League it was all going to come together. You're going to figure out what was happening and everything. And sadly, yes, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's what this whole trilogy was about. It was leading up to something, and I know people were like, oh yeah, it sucks when you have to set up another movie and it takes away from this movie. And to me it didn't really do that much. yes, I could have did without the introduction of all the Justice League characters, with the footage. They didn't necessarily need that, but the Flash scene, though, I think that was needed. But he's very vague on talking about certain things with that, and he even says oh yeah, there might be a guy there. He's somewhere in the universe, and he's against life. obviously talking about the anti-life, but yeah, and we already saw these images right here of the nightmare suits for Cyborg and Flash. So most likely, because of the context of this, what was explained is that Cyborg jacked into the Genesis chamber, saw this vision, so we were gonna probably see like a nightmare Cyborg. That would have been cool. And probably would have saw Flash go back in time. Who knows? It all would have just come together. And it sucks that we didn't, well, maybe we all get to see it. But there you go, guys. Just wanted to break it down a little bit, and, a lot of people were figuring that out. I didn't figure out the whole, like, in the first trailer, they showed that started floating around later today. So that was cool and everything. So, yeah, there you go, guys. It's a damn shame. But what can you do, right? What can you do? Well, we could just pray for that Snyder Cut, I guess. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all this? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel. Visit filmjunkie.com for all my content. And, of course, go to the closet, get some shirts, get some stickers. All right, guys? Talk to you later.